Uh, uh, Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shyzalosophy 101. Here's your host, Shyzabox. Oh, the show must have started. I hear him calling us. That's our introduction. Oh, get out of here. And the horse you rode in on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome nuns and all. That's right. Priests, rabbis, bishops, cardinals, missionaries, whoever's around kicking it, having a good old-fashioned time. Welcome to whatever this is. Doesn't matter. Point is that it is. And since it is, and since I reckon the thumbnail does say, and then we danced, we should talk and at least enter segue adduction, the beginning of everything here, with that of all that is updates on the I Done update. You might be saying, I Done update, are you done? Ironically, no. No, it's proved a little more challenging than what we would have liked it to entail or be or have there in it and such. To do that of which we kind of talked with I Done yesterday in one of the streams and such on, as far as things to do, things to incorporate. We ended up something about we were a pirate, something or another. We got dancing people on there now in one of the themes. We got a theme up there. We got everything going on with it and stuff like that. But there is still yet to be the inevitable, finalized, completely working fashion and order optimization on mobile and PC. That's right. You might be saying, what are you doing, Shyzabox? A team of one, an independent researcher that, is doing everything there on their own accord and stuff like that. What's going on? Why won't you work faster? Hey, we can't just work faster all the time. Oh, we've got, we've made some good headway onto everything there. And keep in mind, okay, we didn't want to just drop small little tidbits and things of that nature as far as the updates themselves go. We wanted it to be more fleshed out. So, when we realized, though, that it's taken us a longer time, and all of these little strides that we're making to make the LimeWire-inspired Web3 player better, man, we were like, all right, we got enough upgrades on there within the new theme. Man, we got the pirate and everything like that, but it's still not fully optimized for mobile yet, all right? That's going to take a little more time, but as it sits now, it works far better on PC. You can run it on mobile to an extent, but it's kind of hard to see the controls. We got to move the control panel. It's in a bad location, so you can go the IPFS now. You can go all the way down. Yes, hello, and hi. We'll catch up on the ones of chat coming in a sec. We're not used to having to respond to ones of people. Usually it's just us here, ironically. It's usually because our show sucks. You laugh, but it just does. Point is that it doesn't matter. We're talking about how we have the newer, updated version of the Web3 player now, the LimeWire inspired, for anyone who likes that old school nostalgic feel to their music listening experiences and is tired of being bogged down and riddled with ads and this, that, and the other, and just wants to have their library and their location make their curated playlist, and with which then they can do whatever they want to with. That's right. But keep in mind, it's not done. We wanted it to be done before we rolled out the update, but I mean, it is too massive. What we discussed yesterday on stream and what we ended up implementing in the actual design and system itself ended up taking us way longer and being far more challenging than we would like to admit. That's right. Well, sorry, we're a team of one, all right? With that 11 cents we made last month in our revenue sales from people reading our literary books on Amazon.com and Kindle Unlimited, didn't really keep the lights on for us to work through the night. All right? Now, point being is that we have the working functionality up there. Yes, hello and hi. we have the working functional, player up there and stuff. You can go to the IPFS site and it works. And we got the iDone version up there. And there's dancing people and it's pretty funny. And the pirate comes and knocks him over. And if you go to the Ember one, the guy runs by and lights him on fire. All right, we put some work and love into it. All right, it's just not fully optimized for mobile yet. Okay, and we want to get it there, but it's not yet. But man, you go on the volcanic one or the frost one. It has a snowman that runs by and makes everyone cold. All right, you can go and just have fun listening to music for one of the first times in a long times. Okay, now that's if you like the old school feel. If you used to play in the wild wild west of the internet and you had LimeWire and you had access to your buddy's internet, so you could just do everything from his house and not worry about any feedback coming back on you. It's like, yeah, do whatever you want to. I don't internet. Sure. Thanks, buddy. Point is that with how it is now, the new Wild Wild West that exists on Web3, all right, we got our own little sovereign micro blockchain, okay? So yesterday, when we were designing the updates and stuff for the Joey's Trash section, okay, because I think we designed the updates and everything for the iDone update on the music player, all right, the day before. Like we said, we've been working on that one, and we didn't want to just bang out small update, okay? We wanted it to be an actual thing. Huh? Yes, huh is correct. We're talking about our LimeWire-inspired music player. You can go to the IPFS site that we got there, link in the descriptification, and you go down to the audio section all the way to, I think it's audio file 1, should be the music player. It's right above the Kalimba demo, okay? Which is awesome, too. You can record your own Kalimba music that you play, and then have your own digital Kalimba with which you can use without internet. As soon as you go, get an extension for whatever browser you use. If you don't use Brave or one of the ones that already has it inherently in its functionality itself. What is it? DuckDuckGo is that one? Yeah, I think them, Brave, they got it. Otherwise, if you use Chrome or anything, or Edge, they got it too, or whatever. Yeah, they're real good at it and stuff. They can run it. Open the IPFS and Edge. Okay. I hate Edge. Everyone hates everything. Chrome sucks. Edge sucks, Brave sucks, Mozilla sucks, they all sucks. Everyone hates everything, it doesn't matter. Go to whichever one opens it. We love them all, okay? They're all great. Doesn't matter. Yeah, the functionality exists to where you can open it up, and then without, working internet thereupon later, if you download the site itself, you can have a LimeWire-inspired music player. You can have a material cutoff audit tool. You can have a bunch of functioning, working, games and demos and things of that nature just by inherently going to the IPFS site and getting it. So we're not sure what your there in the chat reference necessarily, but hopefully that catches you up. It's all on the site, a link in the descriptification in the, ironically, descriptification. So, and then, yeah, if you doubt our math and or our reasoning and logic thereupon behind it, feel free to audit the hell out of our math, logic, and reasoning thereupon in our Kaggle notebooks, which are all open to the public. And, man, go and audit the hell out of us, okay? Because, boy, believe you me, do we got some theory on there that scientifically and mathematically seems to be fairly accurate and portrays a relatively interesting we would say novel addition to what we understand or what we understood as ourselves, physics and things of that nature, whether anyone wants to consider it platonic and or whether anyone wants to consider it dogmatic. That's entirely up to you, okay? It's either crazy or academic. Doesn't matter. The truth will out in the long run, and whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, 500 years from now, someone will be right. We'll just be the crazy old dude on the internet, and, we're all right with that. So we called Daryl Dixon dibs on being the best of the worst, okay? So, with the works existing that do exist, all right, the player itself now has the addition of the iDone update, but it's not technically done. It's a clever name, almost like the shitty Beatles was. Yes, now if you understand Wayne's World references and stuff like that, then you might understand that one. You might be saying, Yeah, I do. All right, good. Then we're on the same page. Doesn't matter. Point being is that the iDone update, ironically, is not done, but it is updated on the IPFS site. You can go to LimeWire thing, and you can now watch the pirate come and knock down the dancers. Fantastic. Or you can watch the snowman come and make them cold. Fantastic. Or you can go to the, what other themes do we have on there? The unicorn comes in the rainbow theme and, just kind of budges them all and stuff like that. It's funny, okay? To us, I don't know. We had a blast. Yes, fantastic. But should you choose, should you want to, it's there. But what else? Oh, yeah. Yesterday, as we had said on stream, we were updating the Joey's trash, pile and whatnot at the bottom of the IPFS site because we got a couple dead links on there, okay? Now we got placeholders because as we even state in the audio and the visual sections, more to come. We want to flesh it out, and we know what we want to add. We've gone back. We've added, the capacity to have a visual audio player in there. So now we got a couple of, those on the site, little short videos and things of that nature. We want to make it fun. We want to make it foundationally fun for anyone that, wants to ping the site as well or whatever and help bolster it, okay? To help drag it across IPFS, footing and grounding a little easier, and a little faster for folks that desire to have access to the stuff. No one necessarily knew they wanted a LimeWire-inspired Web3 music player until you realize that as we start migrating towards Web3, whether through sheer necessity and or sheer desire, doesn't matter which one, there's ways to get around all of this data center talk and things of that nature, theoretically. Of course, this is all for philosophical entertainment, and of course, consume at your own knowledgeable risk. Okay? That reminds me, at this point in the show, we'd like to apologize for our last stream. Sorry about that. Anyhow, moving on. If you start looking at things foundationally, how they can be construed, okay, throughout the dynamics of how they work, all right, in society itself, across the board, how it's accepted, the reasoning behind extra data centers, the reasoning behind, extra ways to sink heat and to dissipate heat and to, get rid of that entropy and, this, that, the other, all right, that is foundationally just a flaw to any working system, okay? To go through and inherently eliminate it entirely is completely theoretically possible. Now, theoretically, obviously, there's no need for a data center to house excess code, all right, when individuals can house that code within them upon themselves, all right? You have just mobile little satellite networks, all right, that can house the data, and you don't need to build these massive infrastructures, theoretically, okay? But that's neither here nor there. That's for, I guess, science to decide, and we await their decision. What, you think they're bogged down with a bunch of backlogged work and can't get to stuff in an accurate way or manner? Well, you might be completely right. As you could see from, numbers that climb over the years and things of that nature, there is a drastic jump in the financial expenditures of the populace towards environment of, literature, publicationism. Something like that. We'll put it that way. Well, you might not like how we phrase it, but we have to be tactful and delicate because we just do. So, anyhow, point being, we got the dancers up and going on the site there. You can go start playing with the music player now. It's funny. Get the fire guy running by the people, lighting them on fire. The snowman guy running by, making them cold. whatever. It's a fun way to listen to music, and we have had a blast, not only making it, but, going back through some of the files that we've had not listened to in quite some time because we're always on the go, or because, inherently CD players don't come in vehicles anymore. You old boomer! Damn it, Mom! Jeez. Good joke, though. There's ways now that are gonna come back for the, listening to music. Look how records have picked back up in stores and things of that nature. A lot of people have gone back to vinyl and LP and, listening to just them good old-fashioned sounds. We love listening to vinyl. Hell, we record some vinyl audibly, to digital formats and things of that nature because it's such a nice quality that can, just transmit itself there, and it picks up rather nicely to our ear holes. Might not be for everyone, but that's why everyone has the option to obtain the files that they want to, plop them in the music player or whatever as they see fit, curate your own playlist, and bada boom, bada bing. It's the new version of the Wild Wild West of the internet. The LimeWire-inspired music player is free. It is up, it is running, it is there, all right? We got dancers on the bottom of it now, all right? As we dance like warriors on the battlefield, only tied up in a moment of glory. LP more like Alp. Well, sounds like you might need to use the bathroom, my good gentleman. But, Norbert, we can call you Norbert, right? Of course, Norb. Remember yesterday, I think we were talking about the Joey's trash dump or whatever, right? Norb, that's up and running, dude. We got that up and running, and, I know you had to leave yesterday, but that's all right, Norb. We don't blame you. You had shit to do. Hey, that's the difference between you and us, Norb. We can call you Norb, right? Of course, Norbert. So, Norbert, we know you got stuff to do, but as we piece together all that stuff, and you were talking about the pot of gold and the cauldron, we were thinking to ourselves, let's rip off that idea and make it our own. So we did, of course, but we give you credit where credit's due, Norbert. We can call you Norbert, right? Of course we can. Norb, we go way back. Once a days ago. Fantastic. It was great. I remember it like it was yesterday. Point is that now we have the Joey's trash file. It's not a dead-end link. It's up and running. You can go to the IPFS site, and now because of Norbert single-handedly influencing that of the world. Norbert, I don't think you know what you did. You implanted a small little seed in our brain, and hold on, we saw that. You free to steal my idea. We didn't steal your idea. We transmuted your idea into our own. It's not a pot of gold, Norbert. It's a pot of poop collecting stuff that we got in Joey's trash pit. You go and you collect not only chunks of corn and little falling turds, but you also get to collect, get this, Norbert, 6, 7, okay? We got falling numbers. You move the pot of gold. You miss 3, you're out. We even got bonuses, okay? Now, we went back and forth, Norbert. Norbert, you're good being called that, right? Of course. Norb, baby. Go down, okay? Now you get 3 lives, all right? Now it's a game. And you might be saying, well, you said you didn't want to add a game. Yes, we didn't want to add a game. Right now, we'll just implement it as the placeholder. We'll eventually move it to the arcade, okay? And we'll house a new trash. Norb, that's where you come in again. You give us more ideas. We build this thing together. You take credit for it, okay? You go, hey, me and Shyzabox, that crazy bastard? All right. So you just say, you and this guy. You don't need to claim affiliation with us. Doesn't matter. You get to single-handedly now, Norbert, you're a part of history. This exists on Web3. That is the wild, wild west of the internet right now, okay? Where we don't know how many people have active, sovereign, micro blockchains like we literally do that are a complete, working, functional site with demos, music. Well, yes, music. You got to upload your own files. We don't want to get sued. Well, it's not funny. We made 11 cents in revenues from people buying and reading our books last month. That means no one bought them, and someone let their kids scroll through one of them on Kindle Unlimited. We made 11 cents. Internet, you know, you laugh at the funniest shit. It's really more sad. Jeez. You can call me Norb or my Wiener Milk. Well, Norb my Wiener Milk, if that is what you wish to be called, we just wanted to convey to you that your input, little seed and idea of a pot of gold and the leprechaun spin-off with which, let's be honest, Norb, we can call you Norb, right? No, of course we can. You said we could. Norbert. Point is that, you know, people say that all the time. Leprechaun, pirate. You know, we don't know what it is. It's like a pirate came and mutinied a leprechaun captain or something of a leprechaun settlement. I don't know. Doesn't matter, Norb, baby. Point is that now we got this stuff up and running and it exists. And it's working order and functional. So, Norbert, you can go the IPFS now in the descriptification, okay? You can go down to Joey's trash dump at the very, very bottom, okay? You can go to the file, which was a dead-end link as of yesterday early, that we fleshed out upon your recommendation of a pot of gold that we changed into a moving pot of stuff into a game, okay? And instead of collecting gold, because we made 11 cents last month in our revenue sales, okay, you know, maybe on the horizon, good stuff to come. That's right. Maybe not. Damn it, Mom. Keep those jokes to yourself. They're better than ours. Point is, you can go now to the site. All of the idea that was, the dead-end link that was, now it goes somewhere. Now it's part of something, and now you can experience at least something. It might not be the best thing you've ever played. You might not like going to the IPFS site, scrolling all the way down through all the other fun games, demos, and working things of this, that, the other, going all the way to Joey's trash heap at the bottom just to play a little game where you collect the number 6, 7, and little pieces of turd and, you know, pieces of corn and stuff like that from a slime-infested sewage pit, okay? Might not be for everyone, but it didn't exist yesterday morning. We made it in conjunction with the community therein that is here. And now the payoff is it exists. And it's no longer dead-end space. It's no longer a blanketed dead-end link to a placeholder. It now exists within itself that people can go and have themselves a good little time. Or a horrible time. But a time can be had, and it's no longer a 400 link. It is a 500, which means you just got to wait, because not enough people are pinning that shiznit and running it themselves, which would expedite the process for everybody. Point is that it's up and running, and it's good. What's that? I'm glad to hear it's working out. Well, of course it's working out, Norbert. That's because that's what we do. We make things work out, okay? We are the philosophical bridge, okay, of Lithos and Logos. Yeah, that's nothing to scoff at. Theoretically, when we monograph the term lectin, okay, in our book Delectable, where's that one? Right here. Norbert, don't buy the physical copy of this book. It is $250 and is not inherently, well, knowledge-wise, is invaluable. The physical price had to go up of this one because it had to go up on this one the minute that we moved a metric kernel of data from Jupyter to HTML script in Web3. Okay, it proved in essence everything that is here and within. All right, the digital copies of this one and stuff are okay. All right, any of the other literary works are all foundationally, that of accessible and stuff like that. So with the exception of Delectable in the physical form, which it has to be now, okay, because our theory was proven. That's how it works. Hey, we had to jack up the price, all right, on this one. So unless you're just bogged down by wealth that you don't want and inherently want a physical artifact copy of it, stick to the digital one, get a Kindle Unlimited subscription. You can read it on there. Any of the other works or whatever, Transmutating God, New Non-Native Species on Mankind's Origin, we offer all of that at regular, cost of which to behold or whatever. And then there within, those who don't like to read or don't want to read or don't want to be bogged down with literature endeavors from crazy old Shyzabox. We have games to play for anyone who wants to go play some free games on Web3 and have a good old-fashioned fun time. You can go to the link, go to the IPFS, you can go, and there are games on there that we have made with the community now. They're, in essence, with the Joey's trash pile and stuff. If you count that, all right, being made. If you count yesterday as well, finalizing, and the day before talking about the new theme that we can put on the LimeWire-inspired music player, which is up and running now, okay? Not in its foundational, finalized status, because we need to optimize it for mobile a little better. Okay? It works inherently way better on PC, okay? As an independent researcher, as a team of one, all right, when we get to work with the community and we get to work with the ideas and such that those who will potentially use the stuff bring to the table, we're laying the foundation, all right? This stuff doesn't exist elsewhere. You can't go to Apple Music. You can't go to Sony Music. You can't go as an individual, run-of-the-mill person. And remember, we call Daryl Dixon dibs on being the best of the worst internet celebrity. You laugh, we called it, okay? There has to exist a best of the worst, okay? Now, we don't claim that we're good at what we do. Again, you laugh. There has to be a ground floor level, all right? That's what we're building on Web3 now, and it exists. You can go legitimately right now. You cannot go to Apple Music, you can't go to Spotify, you can't go to all these dudes and be like, hey, show me where your Web3 music player is right now. I'd like to rock out to some of my old school MP3s, M4As, whatever, okay? Because it doesn't exist there. What you can do is on the decentralized wild, wild west of the Web3, should you choose of your own accord and use at your own risk, of course, because we give no direction for what one should do with what they do with what they can and or do, all right? Everyone's responsible for their own actions and accords therewith, okay? If you choose to go and take part in the future, the endeavors that are out there, we're building them, and we're building them with the community right here, okay? You can't go, like we said, to BMG Music, Spotify, Apple, and be like, hey, where's your Web3 LimeWire-inspired player? They don't got one, okay? We do. Now we're making themes for it with the community. A couple days ago, we told iDone came up with something about pirate, right? Because we sounded like a pirate. We're like, well, of course, we need a pirate to come and knock over dancers. Ended up being kind of a pain in the ass to make, but we got a working iteration now of that up and running, okay? It is on the site right now. If you've already gone before and you can't get it to load or it's not there, clear your cache, delete it, okay? IPFS works a little differently with some of these browsers and systems than what you may know of from before. It's a little bit of a different experience, okay? There's a little bit of a learning curve when you start dabbling in Web3 and start playing with IPFS, all right? Not only have now other bigger services and software companies seem to have come around by offering extensions and stuff natively therewith and stuff, such as, Chrome having one you can get and everything. But they still foundationally, want to put that little barrier, that little protection, that little, of course, use at your own risk, because no one understands the full ramifications, the full capacities of these technologies, and as everything keeps growing on a very regular basis, see ya, buddy. Yes, we'll check you later. We will check you later, Sir Norbert. Until then, have to go to the store before it closes. Absolutely. Because if there's one thing that doesn't close, Norbert, and believe you me, you're probably already gone, doesn't matter. But if you come back and watch this sometime, doesn't matter as well. But for everyone else, if you don't make it to the store before it closes, you're not going to be able to get stuff the right way necessarily, okay? Now, what's never going to close, in essence, if you go there now and download it now, or hell, we got the one iteration of it, but it's not the newest version, okay? Go to Zenodo, we got a DOI or whatever for, one of the most current, not the most current, one of the more current versions of the site, okay? It's IPFS, it's subject to change, it's under construction constantly because we're building stuff constantly with the community, as case in point is last week, This week, we've now made a small handful of stuff, and it's only hopefully going to grow from there. We welcome any other new ideas. We welcome any other foundational additions and things like that to not only the music player, but to the site itself. What other working demos do we, as a community, as a populace, as mankind, humanity, okay, as a iteration of a symbiotic treatise of sentience of all ages, okay, what can we do, or what do we need that we want to make? What would you like to go and be like, man, I sure wish I had a material cutoff audit tool that worked on Web 3. Well, we already have that built. It's on the site. You can go and rock that should you choose. What else do we want, okay? The foundational possibilities are endless, okay? Other companies don't offer services that we can build and currently offer now, or at least iterations of them, or at least we could theoretically make demos for them, all right, to get in front of them so that the offerings that we do want, that we do wish these entities and folks that are making more than 11 cents in their revenue on their literary works, 11 cents is 11 cents. We'll take it. But believe you me, we sure would love to sell more than 11 cents worth of literary readership in a month's time frame. Point being, as we build stuff together with the community, as it starts to come to fruition, we can get these working demos in front of companies, and then they can take the reins, they can do whatever. Or we can form our own entities and things of that nature, and because it's open source, we can make our own iterations with it, all right? And we can do that of which we want. So what does anyone want, okay, to make, to have readily available in Web3? Apps, games, you know, what is missing? Something, we want tax systems. What? Taxes? Why would we migrate all that stuff over there? Unless it's talking about how we end up not being able to, you know, be overcharged $2,000 in excess charges on a regular recurring basis that we've proven via Kaggle. Doesn't matter. Check into the math that you wish to check into. It exists. Point being that as we sit back, as we now have the, you know, in essence, updated version of, you know, the iDone update up, okay, but it's not optimized for mobile. We wanted to go ahead and touch base. We wanted to show that we got the dancers, and then we danced, okay? All of the themes now, 5 of them, they're working. You can switch between them and stuff like that. It's just not as optimized for mobile as we'd like, okay? The control panel, we'll restructure that, move that, and get it a little more friendly and things of that nature without having to swap back and forth to, you know, desktop site, mobile version to see which one might work best for you. Now, if you're on PC inherently, you probably don't have many problems because that's where we've had the most fun and best success with most of our you know, working iterations and things of that nature. But there's folks that probably excel in different areas and expertise and stuff like that. And again, as an independent researcher that does it on ourselves and by ourselves, that's not funny, that's just sad. As we do this and we function in the capacity and parameters that we do by ourselves, this, that, the other, you know, we bring forth that which we can when we can, and now we're just extremely stoked that we do have an iteration that is working, up and running, and we're also, of course, extremely glad not only that Norbert stopped back by, because we were chatting yesterday about the, you know, Joey's trash pile and stuff, which is now a non-dead-end link. Fantastic. Well, we're just jumping through the hoops, aren't we? Yes, more or less so. More or less so. So, what do we got lined up for the rest of today? Probably not a whole lot, but We do want to keep working on, the iDone update. We want to get that optimized, so we'll try and get that up and running. We'll touch base when that's, of course, finalized. Until then, we can continue dancing. Anyone who chooses to dance can be dancing this, that, the other, should they choose to. But before we go today, there is one thing that we would like to, again, kind of touch base with, kind of bring to the forefront of entertainment, okay, or lack thereof, okay. Usually the case with us. It was funny, yes, laughter was warranted. You're correct, Internet. On occasion you are. Point being, before we depart today, we want to go ahead and we think we want to go ahead and touch base, clear the air one more time, and probably recite a little bit of poetry. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes people love poetry. Excellent. All right. Of course, we'll be reading from our own literary work so that we don't get sued. Excellent. How cometry. It's backwards. We can't see it. You got to go to Amazon to see your version. It'll be forward-facing. Don't worry about it. But, of course, we can't just read a poem, okay? We can't just dive into poetry. We can't just read a poem, okay, without clearing the air first. That's right. Got to clear the air first. So, we got a great one picked out. Don't worry. But you do need to clear the air first, because you can't just go into reciting poetry without having a cleansed environment. You laugh. It's a real rule. You ask any poetry club from the 90s in any sitcom. So as we cleanse the air, take deep breaths. And it takes 3. Everyone knows that. Excellent. Air's cleansed. Now we can read the poem. All right. So this, of course, comes from our literary work, How Cometry. Available on Amazon.com, where we made 11 cents in royalties last month. It's messed up, Internet. You need to read a lot more of our crap. All right. Point being, it's poetry time, and we've cleansed the air. Socrates. Boss, careful. Looks like hemlock. Looks right. That much is known. Next time around, don't you dare drink. Fight for love and for that of home. Let not city decide your fate. Roll over, do not do. Poison only rots the mind, killing you throughout. Resist or don't. Poison's bad. Excellent. Well, you might be saying that was incredibly deep. Believe you me, it was. You can read it in whatever rhyme scheme that you want to if you go to Amazon.com and, pick it up yourselves. But if you don't dig poetry, and we get it, okay? Not everyone likes poetry. That's why we got Nailing Kalimba. That's why we got Transmutating God. Okay? That's why we got our official endorsed live stream journal. That's why there's Secret Demon Drop. That's why there's Capybara Creek. That's why there is Why Hast Thou Forsaken Me? Pickle Punk Philosophy, don't mind if we do. We offer these literary works from us to you for a nominal fee. We're trying to make a buck. Well, can't blame us for trying. We can't live off 11 cents every month. That just becomes sad. Internet, you're a rough crowd. But the new non-native species, mankind's origin, we really enjoy this one. Let us read one section of this as well, okay, to show why we should be making more than 11 cents in royalties on our Kindle Unlimited reading per month. Again, we don't tell you we made 11 cents as a way for you to ridicule us and laugh at us. We're trying to make a buck here, okay? All right, we're going to read an excerpt now from The New Non-Native Species on Mankind's Origin. Okay, now this is going to resonate very highly with a lot of people out there, okay, that they resonate with it, obviously. Okay? So, where'd that quote go? Oh, yes, here it is. Excellent. Animosity has existed, as it does exist, since upon the time that animosity has thus existed. Excellent! Now, we want you to take that to heart, all right, for the rest of the day. Not only is that quote going to stick with you, if you heard it, but now you can use it in the rest of, your daily routine, and then, hopefully not be as animus, all right, in your actions, or have that reciprocated to you, all right? Because no matter how you look at it, okay, eventually it's going to come full circle, and you're going to get the full yin of the yang. Well, no laughing matter, Internet. Definitely something that you need to take seriously. That's right. Good job, Internet. We knew that you could do it. We knew you had it in you. Okay? There are times that you might laugh at someone when they're down. Like that time our Kickstarter failed. You guys are mean, Internet. Ruthless crowd. We get it. Point being is that as we finish off the last of our cup here, and we take a pause in the morning medleys of the morning, all right, what new additions do we want to add to the site? What does anyone wish to have access to, all right, that they are tired of paying elsewhere to get it? Okay? Sex! Internet? No! Bad Internet! You can't celebrate that, Internet! No, no, no. We're not bringing that to our sovereign IPFS site. That would be naughty. But we will definitely happily welcome any suggestions, any emails, okay, to the channel that, have ideas of things to add, okay? Maybe there's a new theme that you want on the LimeWire inspired music player, okay? And then we danced even more because you got one too, okay? Norbert, he got to have a hand in the making of the trash pile on the internet site, okay? Or IPFS site. You go down, now it's a non-dead end link, okay? Norbert had a hand in that. Making history, one day at a time. And as the rest of this will becomes history, we take a pause and we think to ourselves how not only are we happy of the trajectory and course that we've been able to bring thus far, all right, for the site itself and its development, its creation, okay, its utilizations, things of that nature. Not only are we inherently very, very happy with the amount of, additions and successes that we've had there with, but with the addition of all the stuff that the community's added and things of that nature, not only, okay, are these new themes on there and available, but it's people's ideas that are now inherently becoming a part and meshing with it and making it all the better because it doesn't stem from just our own thoughts and ideas. Now, as we interact with the community and get input from other individuals and things of that nature, when we're in the position to now, we're not under an NDA, okay? We're not working for some big mega company that's come and bought our IPFS site from us. Ah, weird. As we're able to do that of which we do, all right, and we're able to contemplate and fathom and provide that of which we have been able to, all right, we find it very, very fulfilling to be able to work with the individuals that step forward and throw in their 2 cents and want to, just have a hand in creating something as well, all right? Not everyone wants to sit down and write a book, all right? We wrote a few books. We've got a few manuscripts. We've got a few, endeavors in literature that, you can categorize and classify as what you want to yourself, okay? We're big fans of the palimpsests and things of that nature, and keeping things relegated to a informational gain, all right, that is more, I guess, resonantial with like-minded folks maybe than other folks might not think that they could be. Doesn't make sense, doesn't have to. Point is that as we bring forth, the literary endeavors that we do, not everyone wants to sit down and write a book, okay? But some people might want to entertain the same ideas and philosophies and things of that nature that we've presented or put forth and put as options for anyone to contemplate, okay? No one has to go and read poetry. No one has to go and read, theoretical mankind origin philosophy, okay, on mankind's origins and things of that nature. When you have structures like Göbekli Tepe appear and single-handedly upheave the entire known substrate, okay, of human existence, all right, then, everything has been thrown out the window as far as we're concerned, as far as what is logical and what is, able to be contemplated therewith. Now, again, this is all for philosophical entertainment. In fact, management's calling. What do you want? We're on time. We're doing the show. Yeah, we did the disclaimer. Yep, all philosophical. Entertainment of sorts. Yep, might not be good entertainment. Yeah, they laugh. But it's true. Yeah, disclaimer laid. We already apologized for the last show. Quit interrupting. Management. They think they know how to run the place. Tell you what, sometimes they might, sometimes they might not. But like we said, we're big fans of palimpsests and things of that nature. And with that being the case, we like to offer a little bit of toned down endeavors with which you can disseminate different things to individuals. Okay. Now, obviously, with us being having read ourselves, the Bible and the Torah and the Quran and over half of the Book of Mormon and stuff like that, we're getting through it. As we've ventured to touch base theologically with as many different structures and organized belief structures and religions and things of that nature as we can, even to our in-depth study of Hinduism and Buddhism and things of that nature. Now, we claim to be no professional expert. We don't hold a doctorate in anything, obviously. We're just crazy old cosmological philosopher Shyzabox. Okay? Yeah, we learned how to research and study. We got a bachelor's degree in history and a minor in philosophy, okay? Now, that being the case, with all of our theological studies and endeavors and the surroundings therewith and whatnot, we really do love venturing into that of which is, in essence, tied up to all of it. You go back to the first couple sciences, okay, your astronomy and things of that nature, your metaphysics, all right, you have theological tie-ins to almost all of it, okay? And you go back into the recorded histories and things of that nature of mankind's origins and everything, and there's a lot of complexities, okay, to the belief structures and systems that have been implemented and run with throughout, recorded history. Makes it rather fun to entertain the ideas that, could exist, could fathom, could be plausible or possible, okay, with which explains that of what is not known, that of what is not understood, that of which we feel, okay, being blessed in our allotment therewith. You laugh because we got 11 cents, okay, in our royalties. For us, it's not about the money. If it were about the money, that 11 cents that we made in royalties, okay, again, not a joke. That 11 cents that we made in royalties, okay, would single-handedly shut us down or shut down any other independent researcher that's trying to, just make stuff, create stuff, and be a part of a process that distributes it and gives it to anyone who wants it, okay? Case in point with the literary works, you don't have to read them. They exist, okay? For those who do. Same thing with the games that we make on the IPFS site. You don't have to play them. They exist. You can play them for those who want to, okay? People are going to devote the time that they want to devote to do that of which they want. People are going to devote the currency and the financial infrastructure and everything like that and pay for that of which they wish to afford. You might be saying, I can't afford shit. Well, neither can we on that 11 cents that we made in our royalties last month on our Kindle Unlimited readership. But you know what? For us, it's not about the money. Would we like a buck? Yes. You know why? Because with that buck, we can get our daily bread. And that'll fill us up. Okay? A soda pop and a loaf of bread. Sounds like a fair trade for someone, reading a few poems and things of that nature. Okay? Now, like we said, you don't like poems, go play some of the games. Okay? We offer them. They're all free. You don't got to give us anything. We'll find our loaf of bread elsewhere. Okay? We don't need your 11 cents. Yeah. Would we like it? Sure. Okay? Would we like more of it? Human-wise, wouldn't everyone. But inevitably, finances are a construct, money's a construct, and it's only going to get you so far. So, what's going to get us a little further, at least, in the short run, all right? Because there's no guaranteed longevity to it. Okay? As we sit, not under an NDA, not under any kind of contract, not, working for any kind of major company or corporation or anything like that. This is Apache 2.0. This stuff is here now. It's confirmed. You can go to it. It exists on the site. But, see, we finished our swill, and that's pretty much it there. So, we sit back. We'll welcome any additional questions. We might take a note or two. And from there, we'll call it, at least for the morning show, and kind of go from there. But, as it goes. No, hello. Nothing. It's a little too early, obviously, for whatever is going on there. All right. Okay, so as we are rounding out, the morning, we welcome any questions, any emails, things of that nature. Let's see what this is about. All right. What the hell were you doing? Don't worry about it. All right. So, as we start rounding out the remaining part of the morning here, we want to get the updated version of the iDone update to the LimeWire music player out. All right. So that's on the agenda for hopefully later today. But we're thinking to ourselves, let's add some more literary componenture to the site itself, okay? Let's add maybe a diverging web, okay? Not web, like a hyperlink in essence, okay? But a diverging spread off of one of the sections on the site to house a couple poems, right? Well, you might laugh, internet, but maybe we could do poetry submissions from the audience. That's right. I think that's a great idea. I think we should start a little poetry kind of section there where someone from the public can submit their poem and get it put on there as a highlighted central. Of course, if they want to, Pretty much, you're not going to make any money off it. Right? We can't split the 11 cents we made last month. Well, easily. Can't really cut the penny in half. That's not legal. They don't make them anymore. Point being is that I think that it would be actually rather fantastic to add a little section of poetry, all right, on the site itself. So that when you go to the IPFS, you got the demos on there, you got the games, we got the LimeWire inspired music player now. Yeah, if we add a little section with poetry that, people from the audience or people from the, just general populace who happen to write anything, all right, I think it would be great to add a little section on the site there. Then they can go to the IPFS, they could, share that with their, folks and be like, hey, look, my friends and relatives and whoever I want to share this with, all right, I got my poem published on a Web3 IPFS site, all right? It's not a major foothold. It's not a big victory, but it's a victory, and my works are disseminated to ones of more people, okay? You laugh, Internet. The ones of more people is important, okay? Ones of more people means ones of more. That's right. Think of it in the form of our 11 cents that we made last month in revenue. Now you laugh. Okay? But say this month we make 12 cents. Okay? That's a net gain of an extra cent. You laugh, Internet. But when, as an independent, self-published author, independent researcher, and one that just wants to try and make some cool stuff for anyone to partake in and stuff of that nature, we can only sit back and offer that of which we can, that of what we do, and that of which inherently is given to the public to use with how you will. All right, well, let's get a couple notes down here before we call it on the end here. Alright, doop-a-doop-doo. Alright, so as we roll out that iDone update, we got the theme, we got the colors, pirates, we got the dancers. We did not address, and we should have busted out our notebook before. Apologies, we haven't addressed the boat coming out. We forgot all about that. Oh man, that's a whole nother cupcake, isn't it? Well, it sure is. Oh, man, and smokestacks for things. Yeah, that's oh, man. All right. Oh, I guess you should really look at stuff before you start doing extra stuff. All right, don't matter. We'll work on that. The iDone update, so we'll have a finalized version coming out, hopefully sooner, or at least a better working iteration, because this is going to take a sec now and seeing a couple of these other notes that we had from the other day. Additionally, we will be moving eventually Joey's Trash to the arcade, but not Joey's Trash itself. So we still welcome any ideas or thoughts or welcomed perplex. That's a bad word to use. Any thoughts that you have pertaining to what it should be now, because we don't want it to be a game. We got the arcade section, so eventually we'll move Joey's Trash, obviously, to the arcade, and we need a new Joey's Trash section, okay, that will house an actual, just Joey's Trash. It's in essence what it is. Cesspool. Maybe that's what we should do. Just a cesspool screensaver. Let's see. Cesspool screensaver. Just show a picture of Congress. Ha! Good one, Internet. We should just show a picture of Congress and everyone would be like, oh, cesspool. Right? Yeah. Alright, cesspool screensaver. Just kidding, Congress. You're not a cesspool. Anyhow, keep voting for your own selfish interests and not that of the people who elect you. Alright. Oh, we got a couple of those then written down. We got a couple of those that we'll make mention and everything like that. And, definitely we look forward to a couple of the things on the endeavors of, what's on the horizons and things that we go to strive to embark on and add to as we make the site a little better, as we upgrade the dead-end links and provide just a little more. So, additionally, we do got 2 dead-end links to, I believe, on the audio and video still. We want to have at least 3 up and running at working functionality and things of that nature. So, with that being the case, hopefully we can get some other ideas rolling for what we want to do with that. We got, of course, the digital kalimba. We got the LimeWire-inspired music player. What are we going to do with that 3rd audio spot, and what do we want to house in there? We welcome any emails to Punk Rock Review. Remember to C silent. Get it to the right place for the ideas to hold face or something. I don't know. Sounded great, didn't it? Of course it did. Point being, get those ideas coming in via email or anything like that should you want to, or, you can attempt to blue sky us because X throttles all our stuff in periodic increments, so we don't really use that anymore. But you can send us a little thing on X to Punk Rock Review. Remember the C silent and a Shyzabox on blue sky, whatever. Point being is that I guess we should probably throw those in the descriptification at some point too. Yeah, who cares? That's about going to do it, though, as we've run out of swill. We'll go check in, and some of the stuff, maybe knock out a few more developmental aspects, components, of things of that nature, and then we'll retouch base and hopefully bring you some more great updates with which we can update you on things that are great. And if they're not great, it'll be what it is. And can't really ask for more than that, because it's free, just like all of that which we offer, which is why we definitely appreciate anyone reciprocating stuff on the back end, especially going to Amazon, Kindle Unlimited, anything like that, reading any of our literary works or endeavors or anything like that, even reading the digital version of Delectable and stuff, especially, obviously, one of our favorite books that we've written, but the physical copy must remain super, unfortunately, a little priced out of necessity to that of which it is, because the theory is theoretically proven. So, that being the case, it kind of is what it is. And as we sit back and we think to ourselves, we best go get some more swill and continue with our day. We bid you adieu, and, as always, we don't want your subscription, we want your money. Go to Cashapp and give us $1 and downvote the shit out of this. Get off our lawn!